Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to ZeerTalks and welcome to the another edition of FC Bayern München Talk as a video. I did one yesterday and it done okay. So I said, you know what, let me do another one. And this one, I want to pose a question here because, you know, the other day I did a watch along for Germany versus Luxembourg. And in that game, obviously, Joshua Kimmich, he played at right back, for those who weren't aware. Um, but usually for Bayern, he plays in midfield. And for Germany, there's a frequent trend for the most part that he's played at right back. So I just wanted to pose a question. Should he be played at Bayern in the midfield still? Or should he be played at right back? But before I give you my answer, you already know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press alarm bells for future content notifications. Oh, wait, let me lose. Like, comment your way. Go check socials, inshallah, wherever you may be. And listen, guys. Listen, for those who watched the game against Luxembourg for Germany, you would have known that obviously Kimmich got himself involved in two goals. Now, one of them was a penalty. Let's not lie, guys. It was. And another one was a tap in from a set piece. But it's not even about that for me, because I know a lot of people say, oh, but he scored twice. That has nothing to do with him being right back. He could have done that from midfield. My consensus is the fact that he, my friends, it's the impact that he brings from right back. Like you see him overlapping more often from the right-hand side. You see him putting himself in dangerous areas for him to pick up passes and make crosses into the box. His switches of play as well. Again, like anyone that knows me, right? When I'm not the biggest fan of him in midfield compared to right back. And the reason being is I feel like when you're playing in a pivot that he does, you do need to have defensive qualities. Now, is he defensively okay? Sure. It's okay. Now, is okay good enough for the level that we like to rate Joshua Kimmich? No. It is not at the highest level. The reason why Joshua Kimmich gets placed in these elite, in today's game, obviously, is conversations, or like world-class level conversations, usually, is because of what he does in terms of his delivery of the ball, his passes, delivery passes, whatever, right? He's able to sometimes when he's direct, sometimes he takes certain shots and sometimes they come off, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? Like these things, and his intelligence, his IQ, usually is why people will rate him at such levels. Hell, I would even go to a level to say him dictating dictating a midfield, dictating certain plays, right? That's why people will be like, you know what, he's amongst the guys in the conversations. Now, some will say, nah. They'll say, no, he does not deserve to be in those because he's very passive. Again, I agree he's very passive. I think defensively he's very passive, but this is why when we play with him in midfield, we need somebody next to him that's as physical and that can do the job that he can do. So we need somebody that basically can compensate for whatever errors he has. You know what I mean? So, yeah, listen, I think another thing we have to consider at Bayern as well is Konrad Leimer and Michael Olise understand each other very well. Now, the fact that they both understand each other very well, if something is working, you don't break it. That's another thing we also have to consider, guys. And for me, with Joshua Kimmich as well, on top of that fact, is he's been more direct lately this season, and players like Pavlovic, for the most part, has been compensating for whatever deficiency Kimmich may have. At times, even Goretzka so far. I say at times because there are times he's still a fraud, but you get the point. And you even have Bischoff as well. He's been getting some minutes. We've seen how he's been playing. So, listen, do I think we need another midfielder? Yes, I do. If we're going to play Kimmich there, 100% we do. Now, do I think Joshua Kimmich should play in midfield or play right back? my personal answer to you guys is, at the moment, and I'm only saying this based on the fact that Leimer and Olise right now are doing well, combining together. You know what I mean? Like, Kane took a penalty, and these guys are like talking about what to do. Like, they didn't even care about Kane had a penalty to score against Chelsea. Like, that's the amount of chemistry pause that they are building with one another on their side. You know what I mean? Like, Olise will do his actions based on what the runs that Limer's doing. You get what I mean? Like, he'll pick up the spaces that's free. So that's why, for me, like, I'm not trying to damage it all of a sudden by putting Kimmich right back, even though I think Kimmich is realistically a better right back than he is a midfielder. It's one of those conversations to me that a year ago I would have said, you know what, Limer's not doing good enough. Now you have to play Kimmich right back, play whatever midfield you can play, like Pavlovic, Goretzka, or Pavlovic, whatever. Palhinha. Yes, Pavlovic, Palhinha. That was the one I was looking for last season, right? I remember because Goretzka was not being favored, and Palhinha, we got him in, and I was like, well, that's a DM that we need. So you play Pavlovic and Palhinha, that's perfect. Now we don't have Palhinha. So, yeah, and then here's the thing as well. Other than Konrad Leimer, who like, we have Stanisic right back, cool. I think he can play right back. He's actually a right back more than a left back. Sacha Boey, I'm not the biggest fan of, but then again, he's been hit and miss this season. I mean, he's not like he's been god awful. Just thank God for that, alhamdulillah. But yeah, listen, my answer is, for now, stick Kimmich in midfield. However, realistically, we all know that if he played right back, he could do a job. That's what I would say. Now, if push comes to shove, now let's say Leimer gets injured, then now we may have to start having conversations of, what, Kimmich, you may have to adapt. I've been saying last season, like, all these injuries we had and you didn't want to adapt. Like, this is another reason why I was not happy with Kimmich last season. Like, now you're going to have to adapt. Now you can try the Pavlovic and Bischoff, or Pavlovic, Goretzka, whatever in midfield. I would rather Bischoff, Pavlovic try together, but you get the gist, So, yeah, realistically speaking, right now, just keep it as it is. God willing that everyone stays fit. And I need just Kimmich to be more direct. Now, for the national team, obviously Kimmich playing right back it works because obviously, I've said earlier, he's a better right back than midfield, right? Because he has the IQ to know where to be, where not to be. You know what I mean? He has good delivery from that area and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. And on top of that, with Germany as well, and this is something we have to be honest about, you have guys like Pavlovic, Stiller, you know what I mean? And them guys there. Hell, like, I think with German national team, and not many people will give credit for it, but Germany have more options in the midfield in terms of, like, variety, right? Like, if you want hardworking midfielders, you have Pascal Gross, or you have, if you want a pure DM, you have Andreich, right? Or you have Goretzka and Pavlovic still. You have Angelo Stiller that's more all-rounded. You know what I mean? So, and hell, maybe you bring Bischoff into the national, and Nagelsmann needs to consider bringing Bischoff into the national team. That, again, brings an extra element to it. So, yeah, with Germany, it's easier to play Kimmich right back. That's my point. It's easier to play Kimmich right back for Germany than it is for Bayern at the moment. So I would say if Bayern stick to midfield for now, but if push comes to shove, we will have to put him at right back and then go with the midfield of Pavlo, Bischoff, or something like that. But this is why in the summer, or even January, I would consider it. I think we need to go for another midfielder eventually. We really do. Like, this type of conversation just proves how much we need a midfielder. So yeah, because I would have not let Palhinha go. Sorry, I would have not let Palhinha go, and you know me, I wanted him to stay, but unfortunately, he can't do much on the ball. That's the problem. So yeah, but let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I think it's a very interesting conversation, especially with the form that he's been on this season so far, for the most part, compared to last season. Now, people will say it was amazing last season. I think his season last year was so overrated from Bayern fans. I'm not gonna lie. because half the season, actually most of the season, he was playing cowardly. And now look what happens when we're more direct. Just saying. So, yeah, listen, you know exactly what to do. Subscribe, press the alarm bells for future content notifications. Like, comment your way, go check socials, or inshallah, wherever you may be. Share this as well. Mia san Mia. And until then, guys, take care and see y'all later.